Senior Spotlight, Rosie Deegan, Maddie Plank. We're here in Wall right now. Interesting location. Wasn't planned to be here, but maybe if the volleyball team wasn't playing right now, we would be on the court or something.
Absolutely. No.
Both of you guys have interesting situations here at Davidson. You're a fifth year, and I know you probably don't want to be defined as a transfer still, but you are a transfer.
I must own my identity.
So just a little bit different experiences going on. How do you guys see yourselves as leaders in the clubhouse?
I think that I'm also both a transfer and kind of a fifth year. I took a gap year with COVID, so I should have graduated college last year.
Don't be deceived,
so
she's older than me.
I'm the oldest member of our team currently, which I think kind of adds to like the necessity of leadership almost. Like I feel like I've experienced college in a variety of different ways and formats, and also coming in as a transfer, I think the coaches anticipated that I would have somewhat of a leadership role, and I think being a senior, it's been something that I've like naturally filed into more.
Yeah. Well, I think for me, obviously, coming back for another year, like naturally you're gonna obviously step into a leadership role just because you've been around the program for so long. And I didn't start off leader when I was younger. There was a couple of girls who were probably better leaders than me at a young age. But I think like being so long in a program, like you kind of know the standards and like what's expected like of a college athlete. Yeah. I think Maddie does a really good job at it, but we try to really like push those standards and raise those standards for the whole team. You don't know what it looks like when you're coming in. Like I didn't know what it looked like as a freshman, like, and I needed like people who were older than me and who's done it before and like know the process to kind of like direct me through it.
What was the decision behind coming back and staying for a fifth year?
Yeah, for me it like almost became like a no-brainer. Obviously the academic side, like I'm pre-med and I wanted to like study more in public health, so the academic side was obviously a no-brainer. Like Davidson's a really good school for that. My goal is to play professionally, so I think kind of having that continuity of like having two okay seasons back to back is really important, and so they wanted to see that and the scouts wanted to see that.
So you want to go back home to Australia to play, or is it really undecided right now?
I think I'm probably looking to go play in Europe after Davidson. Australia League is like amazing and fantastic, but that's kind of home, so that might be where I settle down in the end, but not for now.
Maddie, this is kind of going back in time, but I think to give everyone a little bit of a picture into you, why did you decide to transfer from Princeton to here?
Sure.
And like just tell me a little bit about like the process of doing that.
Yeah. Growing up, it has to start from the jump, but like ball is life. Ball is life. And I committed to Princeton my junior year of high school, and my senior spring, so after having been committed for like a year and a half, the coach who recruited me along with her whole coaching staff left. So my freshman year, I also had a new coach who like I didn't know me, had actually never seen me play basketball. So it was a really weird kind of situation where normally people go through this recruiting process where they get really close to a coach. So that didn't really happen for me. My freshman year I got hurt, redshirted the whole year. Sophomore year, I took a gap year because
Intrepid exploring.
Because of COVID. So then after 2.5 years of not playing basketball, I come back as a sophomore at Princeton and first time playing under this new coach, and it was like not the college basketball experience that I was kind of hoping for. I didn't play as much as I would have wanted to. I wasn't super happy, and at the end of the day, I think the biggest thing was that I've like always craved getting better on the court, and at some point in the year I was like, do these coaches are they invested in me? Am I actually going to improve? I'm not as happy. I'm losing love for the game. So I entered the portal, the infamous transfer portal, and Davidson had actually recruited me before when I was in high school. So they kind of just like circled back after that, and I took a visit and I loved it, and now I
fell in love with the place.
And now I'm here.
Honestly.
Now I'm here.
How do you see this year unfolding, and like what do you want to be like your final note on like your basketball career here?
I've actually done some reflection on this, so I can take it away. I really just want to win, like, period. Because I think that, like, why are you laughing at me? Like, I don't know, college has been, like, anything but what I expected it to be. And everyone on this team has worked so hard, and I think being the leaders that we talked about being earlier, like what an opportunity for us to like help like with 5 new kids on this team, super talented, really bought in right now, like win an A10 championship. The first one under Coach Gale, like that would be incredible.
Yeah.
And personally, like I think I have aspirations, but I think it all just comes down to how I think we can win the most games. So I'd say that's how I want to leave off my Davidson college basketball journey.
I have to agree. Like one of the big things coming back and like talking to Coach Gale about coming back was kind of the faith that we had in the roster that we were building, and like what this year was going to look like for us. We think like it was probably going to be like the most competitive year we could like have. So I think our roster is really strong right now. We've got a really great group of girls who, as Maddie said, are really bought in. So I think that that's a legacy that you can't really like live down, and that's not like an individual thing that me and Maddie can control. But as you say, like with our performance and with our like leadership, like hopefully like we can do our part to get the team like as close to that goal as you can. Yeah.
What are some of your personal goals going into this last season?
Personal goals. See, that's weird because it's like you never in like interviews, you know, you have like the sports athletes like code of what you go through. You know, it's gonna be like, oh, credit to the boys. Like we did like this question doesn't get
You
asked.
never
Like,
talk
that's-
about yourself.
You never talk about yourself, right? So I'm like hired people in coaching in like the WNBA and in Europe and stuff like that. Like what they're kind of looking for me, out of me as a player, and that's just looking at exactly what Maddie said, like that consistency in play. I definitely have to take steps forward in like my defense and my communication. I wasn't known for that in the past. We're moving.
Yeah.
We're moving. Got to get my clip up shooting, obviously. Not even to like play that card, but naturally with such a terrible shot form, you're gonna get a little bit of doubt. So like that kind of like number has to be, unfortunately, a little bit higher than the average shooter, just because it looks so terribly off the hand. So
We should add a clip here of Rosie Deegan's shot form.
Because everyone thinks I exaggerate, and then they see
it's
it.
facts.
One time, like genuinely, people like did like throw up noises when I was shooting a foul shot. Yeah, it's okay, man. It's a cruel world out there. But yeah, I think that's for me, and they're the goals that have been set for me by like higher people, where I like that's the level I want to reach. So I think that's really good, and I think I just got to stay pretty consistent with my leadership as well, because like there's so many like peaks and troughs like in a season, and if like your like key or like players aren't like holding that level, like freshmen are gonna ride the troughs, like every freshman rides like the peaks and troughs of the season. But like if your leadership and your like top level aren't holding like a steady level and a steady head, then that's kind of when the whole ship sinks.
I feel like a lot of the goals that like we've set individually and as like a team have been like things that we do daily leading up to the season that will like ultimately lead to like the bigger goals. So like for me, like one of my goals was like come in this season in the best shape like I've ever been in, because then like I know that I can sustain a year. Because like last year, like as I said, like my percentages fell off, my body broke down as the year went on. Like I'm trying to play through March, right? Like we're trying to like go to March Madness. So it's like how do we prep now to put ourselves in the best position to like have success then.
Yeah, I remember last year you guys had a really good like middle of the season where you sustained your play for like a really long time.
Yeah.
So in what ways do you think you guys can grow in terms of taking that experience that you guys were pretty hot in the middle of the year and you pushed the top of the A10 regular season wise? Like how do you think you can do that this year with a little bit of a different roster and also advance your style of play?
I think for us, it was last year was a huge like learning like kind of like process for us, because we had so many injuries that we like ended up playing like with 7 people. Like Maddie was saying, like Maddie was playing 1 through 5. I was playing point guard, can't even see half the court. Like we were terribly down bad last year. But like in doing that, we had people who wouldn't usually probably have been playing above 7 minutes, playing like 30s. And like what that just did was like everyone now on our roster, bar like our freshmen, has like legitimate like college basketball experience. And I think having that and like having that knowledge of that is so like important when you go into a season and how long the grind of a season is. Because I think if you're not playing consistently, you kind of don't see that as much. But like I feel like now everyone in our roster has like felt the grind, felt like what they need to do to sustain that. Like Maddie's saying, like we know what it takes now.
The roller coaster of the year of like different competition and having those like really tough experiences early will hopefully like lead us kind of to sustain success down the line.
What has been like the most gratifying part of playing basketball here? Rosie, was it like your game winner, or was it like something more, a little bit more sentimental maybe?
I think well, we shouldn't have been like down in that game in all
That
fairness.
was the worst game ever.
That was the worst game. I think like I don't think Gail would be mad at us saying, she was like, we will never practice again with the basketball in our hands if we lose this game. Like at like halftime.
And then she was like, we're gonna practice right after this game if we lose this game. And we were like, okay.
We were playing terribly, and so there wasn't like a huge joy in that possibility.
We were just like, thank goodness, thank goodness.
Sick. Yeah, it would have been my junior year. We were versing UMass, who were I think undefeated in conference. And I didn't even play this. I did play this game, but I was on like restricted 15 minutes, and like we came out and they were like undefeated in conference. We'd been coming like so many injuries.
Yeah.
Like we had 7 people. Like I wasn't even allowed to warm up, and it was senior day, and we just surged and like ended up beating them by like 20 points.
Wow.
And it was like we couldn't miss. We were like playing this like defense that was like we labeled 3. So it was like we were trying to like get back into it, but it just looked like we were like the most arrogant team of all time. Like hit a shot, would just be like running down the court and stuff like that. But like that game, like in the sentiment of that game for what it meant for our seniors, and then to play that way and perform that way was kind of insane.
I think the first thing that came to mind was the Duquesne game. Because I hit like 2 really big threes. And I remember like, well, there's also a video of it that I watch really frequently. But I like made a shot and I like scream at the top of my lungs, and Ellie Sutphin comes up and like chest bumps me, and and then Mallory comes and like shoves me, and like everyone's hyping us up, and we like pull out this like really close game in conference, and that was like part of our like good stretch of games, and I think we all felt really, really good about pulling that one out on the road.
St. Louis as well.
Yeah.
Great game.
Thank you.
Great game.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I went on like an 8-point streak
Yeah.
maybe 10.
Because St. Louis ended up winning the A10. And
we beat them.
We were down by 15 in the first quarter. Good team.
Oh, yeah.
And then we came back, and like they played like a really like aggressive style of play. So we were just getting like backdoor after backdoor after backdoor. And you played very well.
Thanks, Rose. Yeah. Hopefully more to come. Hopefully I'll have a better story this year.
I think that was great. Thank you guys so much. Oh.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm patient.
Stole it.
Whoa. You're just going to keep it going.
I just wanted to see how long you held your hand out there.
Thank you.
Thank you.